Ellen Paquette. I am a certified sommelier and co-founder of WineFolly.com, where we learn by drinking. Tonight, I am pumped. I have with me here a champagne and two other traditional method sparkling wines from other parts of the world. And we're gonna pop these bottles and learn all about high-end sparkling wine. Ooh, that sucker's bubbly. All right, so I talked to a lot of people who love bubbles. They're like, champagne, Prosecco, sign me up. Awesome. I love them both, but we gotta learn there is a difference to different kinds of sparkling wines. And champagne is very different than Prosecco in the way that it's made. Now, the method involves the secondary fermentation, you know that part that makes wine bubbly, happens inside the bottle. The reason why that's interesting is because champagne and other traditional method sparkling wines, made in the same way, have a lot higher pressure inside the bottle, anywhere from 5 to 7 atmospheres. Champagne this bottle cost me $46. This guy cost me just I think it was like $22, and this one was just $28. So now you know I'm excited. All right, I'm seriously gonna shut up now and start tasting wine. First wine is the Gaston Chiquet. It is a real champagne, a Premier Cru, and this is a non-vintage, so minimum it's gotta be aged in the bottles with the pressure for at least 15 months. This wine in particular is 40% Pinot Meunier, 35% Chardonnay, and 25% Pinot Noir. So this wine, right on the nose, I get that classic cheesy Parmesan note that I note in champagne, in pretty much every part of champagne I'm in. Should we call it fromage? That sounds better. Yeah, it's like fromage, toasted almond, baked apple, and citrus zest. Woo! On the palate, this wine has explosive acidity. The follow-up flavor in the middle of the palate goes into sort of this baked apple, almond extravaganza, and then it finishes on the sweeter end, sort of like a white cherry and tingling acidity all the way down. And it's really interesting when you are tasting champagne and other sparkling wines, one of the things you'll pay attention to on the palate is the bubble finesse. I did pour it out into a regular wine glass, which can really affect the bubbles. If you're really possessed about keeping your bubbles perfect, use a flute. This is a Cava Reserva. Cava is a sparkling wine made with the traditional method from Spain, and this one in particular is from a vineyard, a winery that's very, very close to Barcelona, so that's about where a lot of the Cava production happens. They love Cava in Barcelona, let me tell you. This wine in particular is made with 40% Gerolot, 30% Macabeo, and 30% Parellada. These are the 3 grapes traditionally in Spanish Cava, and it just goes to show that you can make great traditional method sparkling wines with things other than Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. The thing about Cava that you should know, if you were looking for value, pay attention closely. They have a classification system. Basic Cava is great, but Cava Reserva is a bump up, and Cava Gran Reserva is a bump up beyond that. When you're looking for it, look for a circular sticker on the label that signifies what kind you're getting. Cava Reserva requires a minimum bottle aging time of 15 months. Exactly the same bottle aging as non-vintage champagne. What do you know? On the nose, I get lemon zest, lemon meringue, ginger, lemongrass, and Szechuan peppercorn. It almost has this funny sort of beeswax honeycomb-like character to the nose as well. Let's taste it. On the palate, I'm pulled in sort of 2 different directions. I get sort of bigger baked apple notes on the one side, and then on the other side, I think this is the Zerolo talking here, I get this sort of lime peel, lime zest on the finish. I don't get as long as tingles as I did on the champagne. It ends in more of this like waxy baked apple note. Very fresh, very delicious, very dry. This wine, in fact, it's a brut nature, which means the no sugar option. This one in particular is made with organic grapes, and for $22 a bottle, you get an organic wine, you get an aged entourage traditional method sparkling wine, and you know, you can think about Barcelona. Awesome wine, super delicious, great value. I'm sold. I'm selling myself. I'm like, ugh. This though, less creamy, less almondy, less marzipan-y than this $46 champagne. Next wine, go Oregon. Did you know Oregon's my home state? This wine is a $28 wine made with the traditional method, 70% Pinot Noir, 20% Chardonnay, and 10% Pinot Meunier. I just called them up on the phone and they said this wine was aged for at least a minimum of 36 months. All right, so let's see how it does. Super fruity smelling wine. Peaches, rose pastille candies, a little bit of lemon balm, and you're gonna think this is crazy. It's almost slightly minty on the finish. Let's see how it does on the palate. On the palate, bubble finesse is a lot more reduced than what I was tasting on the Gascon Chiquet. It kind of pops and then smooths out. But on the palate, I get this really fascinating sort of white cherry flavor. So it's almost a little more red fruit characteristics with a little bit of cantaloupe. And it's really, really rich, fruity body in the middle of the palate. Finishes sort of maintaining that feeling, that sensation with just a little bit of bitterness, enough to make me be like, I want to take another sip. Very inviting sparkling wine overall for $28, super great value. Doesn't have the same cheesiness as the champagne over here, but then again, it also doesn't have that almond marzipan-y thing that we were getting in this champagne as well. Wow, what do you think about sparkling wine? Tell me what you want to try next. Isn't this awesome? And total plug here, if you want to learn more about wine and you're just getting into it, I highly recommend you check out my book, Wine Folly, the Master Guide, the Magnum Edition. We talk about everything champagne, cava included. We even show you a map of the world where wine grows. You can learn about different regions. You can open it up and find out about the grapes that you love. Until next time, I love you guys. Peace out.